All right, so let's get into the latest now. And President Nana Addo has named the first batch of his ministers. And we have 13 key cabinet ministerial portfolios or positions were announced. Yao Safo is minister, senior minister, as you can see on your screens right now. I just want you to follow me very closely because what you see on your screens is exactly what is awaiting parliamentary approval. So Yao Safo, senior minister, Albert Kandakpa is minister for the national security. These we knew already. Now also Alan Chemantin, trade minister, also as you can see on your screens right now. These names did not really come as a surprise if you've been following the various appointments or announcements he's been making over the period as yet. So also we have Ken Oforiatta, finance minister. This particular name or this person did not also come as a surprise, having observed what has been said over the period. Dr. also Efriye Akoto is a great minister. He is assured, former deputy, indeed, this man who has been speaking for the NPP in terms of the agric sector in the just dissolved 6th Parliament of the 4th Republic of Ghana. Boakye Jacko, energy minister, he came in really as a surprise candidate for this particular ministry. There are many who are expecting the likes of Kwabena Tahiry Hammond, who has been speaking for the NPP in terms of energy, to come through there. Also, you have Dominic Nitowo, who is the designate minister for defense, the minister for defense designate. Also, Ambrose Derry, interior minister designate, also announced by President Nana Addo, and also Shelley Ayoko Boche, foreign affairs minister designate. This particular person, or this proposed minister for this ministry, her name had been in the offing quite a while now, and already we had some indications that this would happen. Also, Gloria Ekofo, as you see on your screens right now, the Attorney General Minister designate. Hajia Alima Mahama, local government minister designate. This name had already also been put out as was expected. Dr. Matthew Poko Prempe, education minister designate, and he also, his name did come up for this particular ministry as some quite of a surprise, because there are many who are expecting that he go to the health ministry, having been speaking for the NPP in the health sector. See, Kweku Ajimameno, health minister designate instead. So that's what you see on your screen. So these are the first 13 appointments proposed, I must say, awaiting parliamentary approval as put out by the President Nana Addo. There's going to be a lot of analysis that these 13 names will be subjected to. I've been joined on the telephone, in fact, on Skype, I must say, by Dr. Edward Benya, who is a political science lecturer at the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, KNUST. Doc, I thank you. Good evening to you. Now, these first of all, let me find out your thoughts about the 13 names put out first. Already we knew some of them because they had previously been announced, but the additions, did they come to you as a surprise?
Good evening, Alfred. As you've rightly pointed out, it's not surprising. About 2 of them actually came out as surprising, not because their name was mentioned, but as you rightly pointed out, the portfolio that was given to them, and that is Dr. Matthew Poku Prempe. We have all speculated that he might hold the health ministry. Unfortunately, the president decided that he would make him head the education ministry. And also Dominic Nitiwo. Dominic for the Minister of Defense came as a big surprise, since we really don't have his background in, or don't know much with his background with the defense. But other than that, I think that these were names that were speculated, names that were out there, and it wasn't surprising that they were mentioned.
Right, so I see the likes of Boakye Jacko, for example, for the energy ministry. Is that one that you were not surprised at this particular name for that ministry?
I'm sorry, Alfred.
I was asking about Boakye Jacko for the energy ministry as announced earlier today.
Hello, Alfred.
Yes, Doc, can you hear me?
The line is breaking,
okay,
so I barely can hear you well.
Can you hear me now? Okay, so
Yes, now I can hear you.
yes, you can hear me now. I was asking about Boachie Jacko as for the energy ministry designate, or the energy minister designate. There are many who were expecting the likes of Kwabena Tare Hammond, Katie Hammond, who's been speaking for the NPP in the 6th Parliament of the 4th Republic, being a ranking member on the energy committee, to have been considered for this particular ministry.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, Boche Jacko coming up with the energy ministry, it wasn't a name that was expected. But when Nana gave the prelude, this background to why he selected him, then no one will have any doubt that he selected the best choice for that ministry. You see, one thing that is very interesting with the appointment that the president made today is that he's not only looking at the expertise in the area that he selected them from, but he also look at what they bring to bear as they understand finance and economics, because of his interest in actually getting, as he put it, Ghana back to work. He talked about the fact that the individual to be at the energy ministry must also understand economics and finance because of contract, issues of contract that comes out. He needs to understand how a non-performing energy ministry would affect businesses and affect productivity in the country. And therefore, when Nana gave out the background and his decision, what informed his decision, I thought that he selected the best person to actually head that ministry, given the fact that he has extensive knowledge both in finance and also in ministry, in energy.
Doc, let's look at the finance ministry. When President Akufo-Addo was announcing Ken Ofori-Atta as the minister designate for that ministry, he stated, and I quote, that we need somebody of finance who has the range, who has the capacity and insight to move mortal economies. Well, this ministry, we know, Ken Ofori-Atta's name is not very alien to this ministry, and the likes of Anthony Akoto-Osei as well, who spoke on finance on the NPP or for the NPP in Parliament. He's deputized as a finance minister in the Akufo administration as well. So what exactly could you detect could have put Ken Ofori-Atta up and above Anthony Akoto-Osei in this consideration?
Nana is an individual who not only is interested in individuals that he believes has the expertise, but he also talk about proven record. We know very well what Ken has done when it comes to, and Nana mentioned it, when it comes to the data bank. And I believe strongly at this point that Nana believes strongly that the private sector should be the engine of growth. And I believe at this point that he was looking at someone who really understands not only finance, but also the private sector and private sector growth and how to get it as an engine to move. This is an individual that his name has been out there. We know what he has achieved. And I believe strongly, as he said it, that it's a teamwork. He has a lot of individuals with finance and economic background, but I believe that his success in the private sector probably might have put him over the other candidate.
Doc, I want to thank you very much for your time this evening. Grateful. Dr. Edward Brenya is a political science lecturer at the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology here in USC. So that's the analysis there. If you look at the very many names that have come up, 13 so far,